What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what's been really moving it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up slightly, 0.51%, 674 the low, 704 the high, and 35 million shares being traded. So another fairly low volume day, and that's been more of a common occurrence with NIO. So you can even see from the volume. Yesterday we had 56 million, day prior 65, 126. That was, of course, because of the crazy sell-off that did happen on the Friday. But we've been seeing less and less volume, and a lot of that actually started from the holidays, which is rather unfortunate. But since then, we haven't really had that much in crazy news. We did have two things that came out, which in my opinion weren't really anything that you need to stop what you're doing and buy. I did bring this up in my pre-market video. So it looks like 88+ million power swaps were completed as of midnight this morning. So pretty good stuff. Like I said, is this a reason to buy NIO? Probably not so much. It's not really a reason to sell. It's just more of a validation of what NIO is doing and expanding and so forth. So this is pretty good. And then the only other thing was associated to ONVO, and that is them producing 100,000 vehicles. So a pretty good accomplishment and milestone. A lot of that is L60, and then since August, of course, L90 has been kicking ass and taking names. Both very good things. Kind of validates our investment in NIO, but like I said, not really a crazy good catalyst that you need to stop what you're doing and buy more. So it's one of those kind of unfortunates. In my opinion, these two things that did come out, that's what caused this nice push higher. Unfortunately, it did bounce off of a key kind of resistance level, so I'll go over that in a second. But there's just a lot of geopolitical fears. So you did have China pretty much saying this first thing. Well, this is of course coming from 𝗪𝗧, but Chinese officials said that China will cause global chaos if port shipping fees go through. And then you also have 𝗪𝗧 really saying that we need to stop supporting kind of China altogether, and is kind of more speaking on a larger global scale that we need to boycott China. So things aren't really getting any better, and unfortunately that's one main reason why NIO is going down. But like I said, it did bounce off of a key level right here. So quickly going here. So with it at 684, trading between this pivot and this S1. So very wide gaps. That's because NIO, of course, moved up fairly fast. I'm looking at the one-day chart on a side note. So $7 is a key pivot. And unfortunately, it has really failed to get above that. So no different than what happened at that R1. So NIO is having some pretty good momentum, broke above it occasionally here and there, but it did really fail to get fully above that 783. So that's one kind of main reason why NIO started to consolidate. This all started to happen before the whole US and China thing escalated. So no different than this time around. Now NIO is struggling with that $7 mark. So in the next couple of trading days, if NIO is unable to stay above the 7, then you'll see further consolidation, which is rather unfortunate. But looking at shorts right now, they're increasing 219,000 shares. 12.1% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 167 million shares overall being shorted. DTC still fairly high, sitting at 1.98 days. And so yeah, I think shorts are kind of just waiting. They did return quite a lot yesterday, but now they're just waiting for something, either tensions to escalate, and then that way the shorts can double down, or NIO to put out a good catalyst prompting kind of a nice push higher with the stock price. Looking at the options, 5.9 million in calls, 1.7 in puts. 51% of all the options being done so far are bearish in nature. From a bull standpoint, still a good amount of optimism for it to be above roughly 750. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 650. So a little bit more upside, but still right now people are just waiting. Fairly low volume, like I said. Even on the secondary market, you are seeing 3 or 4 transactions, 3 of which are buys, 1 sell. So big money's not really doing that much with NIO. Even on the dark pool, you see some okay ones, so 1.3, 1.2, and so forth, but nothing significant. So shorts aren't really doing all that much. Hedge funds aren't really doing all that much. We're just waiting just to see what is essentially coming next on the actual chart itself. So right now it is kind of stuck between that 10-day moving average and that 50. So that 50 is 637, and right now looking at the market position, you see, especially comparing it to yesterday, not overly that much, but a little bit less willing buyers. So for instance, if shorts or for whatever reason NIO does get hit, you could see a certain level of consolidation to that 650. That's where it appears to be the next strong level of buyers, right above that 50. So most likely that is kind of what their plan is, but nonetheless, anticipate a lot of volatility. So like I said, that $7 mark, if NIO does really and is unable to get above that, then you could see a certain level of consolidation. One thing I do want to draw to your attention though is this, so the daily short volume. I don't always bring up exactly like the overall volume. I give you the net amount because like I said, shorts were increasing a small amount, but that is after they trade back and forth. So for instance, even looking right here, like we are seeing less and less overall volume with shorts. So very interesting stuff. So kind of matches with just the general trend that has been happening. And a lot of that does and is stemming from the holiday. So very weird stuff. I don't know exactly what happened over that holiday, but it seems like everyone has just taken a step back, not really done all that much. So we'll just have to wait and see. Aside from what I did bring up, there's not really that much in news. So nothing really crazy as far as that. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Give yourself a shout out if you are buying, if you're selling, like what are you doing? I think generally NIO clearly does a lot better when they actually have some pretty good catalysts in their back pocket, when they are left to kind of fend for themselves with the open market and just are left to macro kind of conditions. That seems to be where NIO really does struggle. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on NIO. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put a daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.